chapters of the book of my life has to be titled, "The 1% Stole My Life." They stole my life away from me. I gave America my best, and then they stole my life. Then, in an act of pity and contrition, gave me a little check to live on. Enough to keep me hoping, and never enough to do anything with. That'll come to me. Well, I'm not through giving. I'm not through giving. And that's why I said what I did tonight. You have to take a stand somewhere in life. I love America. This is the greatest country in the world. You don't know what I used to do in my past, but I used to introduce people and take them to Abraham Lincoln's tomb. I took them to Allerton Park. I took them into the subways, and some of these foreign people couldn't even understand. Why do we have to pay to walk in America? Why do we have to put money and go through gates in order to walk when it's free and they don't own the ground any more than I do? Why do I have to pay them? And why do they get rich and I get broke? Because I want to walk on land that belongs to me. They say it's a taxpayer's land. Well, if it is, why do I have to pay someone for it? That don't sound like much. But multiply that times all the mortgages in the country, and it was enough to break America 3 years ago, now wasn't it? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Things are wrong. We need to band together and bring out the greatness of America. America can't be for a select few. Sure, we need leaders. Of course we do. But we need righteous leaders. Leaders that live by honor and truth and keep their word and that can be held accountable. I believe every politician in America should be held accountable for everything they do. It should be a mandatory requirement. This will keep them on the straight and narrow. This country's great, but it don't need cheaters.
Business. They handle business.
That's why there's misery and death. Isn't it something that we pay for our mistakes and some people bury theirs?
How long were you in the service?
I won't answer details about my career like that. I can't do that. I won't give factual details. I've been there. I've languished for many, many years. And I've had agony, and I've seen everybody in my life go. And here I was left. One day, I said, you know, I'm not alone. There's 300 million Americans here. I'm not alone. We need to come together and be the great people we have always been. We need to get it back. This is very important, but we don't need to do it through violence. We must be, and I cannot stress this enough, we must be nonviolent. We must be peaceable. We must obey the law. We must be above reproach so that no accusation can be made against us, and then no one can say anything. When you do what is right, nobody can say anything against you unless they lie on you, and then they should be held accountable and punished for that lie. Make them prove it. But when you're in the right and you stand up, there's no one can take you down. I believe with this, I was raised by a good mama. I was raised poor on the Brazos River in Texas. But I was raised by a good mama, and she knew right from wrong, and she knew a cheater when she saw one. But she knew an honest, hard-working man when she saw him too. And she believed in being fair. I have nothing against rich people. I'd love to be rich myself. I'm glad they got money. I'm happy for them. I don't believe in jealousy. It's evil. But you know something? I want them to earn it the honest way. I don't want to be cheated. I don't want to be deceived. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to be taken advantage of. That's wrong, and it's against the law. Why are they breaking the law and getting away with it?
We can't pitch a tent.
If we say we're going to do it, they throw us in jail. Make a comment in an airport, see how fast you can go behind bars just for talking. And yet they can go do it and destroy people, and people die of starvation because of the lack of funds and everything. People are thrown out on the streets. People die early because they don't have the medical need, and where they left.
Can you go into your story that you shared with us earlier about, if it's too much, I understand, but about what happened with the house and the wife? And if it's too much, I understand.
Well,
Don't go too deep if you don't need to.
the doctors told me I have set some kind of records. For a number of heart attacks in the state of Arizona. And I can prove that to you. That's in writing, and I have the pictures that are marked where they found the evidence. But when that big clot got me, it was the size of a marble. They gave me 2 minutes. You have to do something fast in 2 minutes. So what do? They asked me, what do you want to do? Like I'm the expert? Huh? I said, do something. And that's what we in America got to do. We got to do something now. Don't wait. The moment of time will pass, and you'll be sorry. America must rise up now and tell our leaders how we feel. But it needs to be focused. It needs to be civil. It must be respectful and law-abiding. It must be orderly. We need to study on this and come together with a consensus and not be arguing and bickering. We've got to have a clear goal. And people listen to us because they respect us for our homework. It's only obvious, you know, when you prepare for something, you want to do it right. And if you do, you win respect. How can they not respect you? So, if we can pull together with these little demonstrations into bigger demonstrations, but peaceful ones, where we show how classy we can be. What if everybody showed up at the demonstration wearing a suit and a tie? What could they say?
There's actually,
you know,
that idea's been brought up, and there have been a few people that showed up with suit and ties. I, for one, think it would be brilliant if we all did.
I think it would be wonderful. Because when we show our dignity, others are forced to respond to it. And then that gets us somewhere. That'll grease the wheels and let us move. You know, like begets like, and respect. When you've got to give respect in order to get it. So be sure to give it. Not the nonviolent, not the ranting, not any kind of coarse or vulgar behavior or anything like this. It must be proper so that you impress them. And when you do, they have to knuckle under and listen to you. It's only common sense. After all, you're what they want to be. And they're admiring you. Now, that'll get you somewhere. My granny raised me real wise. She says, it's more important to use honey instead of vinegar. Don't use vinegar. It'll come back on you and hurt you. Use honey. Kindness will get you a lot further. And after all, they will have to respect you. When you lay there, they took my heart out of my body, went across the room with it, worked on it for 3 or 4 hours, and brought it back and put it back in. They didn't. Well, I've done a lot of suffering since. But you know, you think about things and differently after something like that. It changes you. And it occurred to me, this is not the end of our country. Everybody's talking about the end of America. That's what they want us to think. This is the beginning, and these are the labor pains. We are about to give birth to a great land again. That's important to remember. Keep that in mind.
Do you have any other words?
Oh, I got a lot. I I got a lot to say. When you lay there, you don't have nothing else, and you can't even get out of bed by yourself, and you're in terrible pain and everything else, you stop and you think of everything in your life. This is my family. This is my family. And I'm proud of them.
We're proud of you for coming down here and sharing your story. I'm proud of you immensely. Thank you.
Well, every word I said is true.
I can tell.
And I will state again. If I could say something to all of America, is this. I regret that I have but one life and one body to give to the movement to save America. is if I could do anything on this earth and make my life count for anything, it would be so every one of you can be a millionaire. So every one of you can live in truth and peace and righteousness and love and not be cheated and slandered and taken advantage of. But you can know happiness and raise your children in happier times. This is the greatest fight of all, and we must all fight it and win. And it will take every one of us, including you and especially you. Please do this.